Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me for Subu's Monday Crafternoons, and today's craft is going to be learning how to make Christmas decorations from cardboard. Now, this is a great idea because it's so inexpensive to make, and it's also very sustainable because you're reusing cardboard and it's recyclable once you've finished with it. So without further ado, let's get started. So, in order to make your cardboard festive and craft decorations, you will need plain old cardboard. This stuff is corrugated, and I don't know if you can see in the picture there, it's got slight lines or ridges to it. And this is really good because it actually looks like wood. It's almost wood effect. So at first glance, when you see these Christmas decorations, when they're completed, they do look like almost like Scandinavian woodcraft, which is brilliant. So you don't really need too much cardboard. And you can see this is my plain bit here. And you can actually get templates or stencils like this here, which we've put in packs which you can collect from the student centre later on this week, and I'll tell you more about that at the end of this tuition session. But if you don't use a stencil, you know what? You can freestyle it anyway. It depends on how arty you are or how arty you're feeling on the day. But the stencils I've used, they are actually available on the Hobbycraft website under their ideas, and I'll show you that section a little bit later on. But as you can see here, I've used a stencil, and I've actually made this little house shape using the cardboard. And all you need to do is get your shape on the cardboard, cut that shape out, and you do also need to make a little hole near the top so that you can hang this. Okay, so once you've actually cut your shape out, you should actually end up with something looking like this. And again, you can see these corrugations or ridges that make it look quite wood effect. And I've actually used a hole punch there to put the hole in the top of my little house. But you could actually just skewer a hole in it with a pair of scissors. But please do be careful if you do that, and don't cut yourself. So once you've cut these shapes out, you're ready to go with colouring them in. And you can use very, very basic shapes. And again, if you're not too sure which patterns to use, there are examples on the Hobbycraft website, or you can just simply freestyle it anyway. And what we have done in the packs that are available in the student centre, we actually have these white craft pens. Okay, so you'll get your cardboard, your stencils, and these pens, and a little bit of string in the pack in order for you to hang your decorations. So really all you need to find is your scissors. Okay, so once you've cut these templates out, you know, I did about several in one go, you're ready to start decorating them. And it's so easy. And you find with these marker pens, because they're white, they really do pop. When the light catches them, when you're hanging them around the room or on your tree, they really do pop out and look effective. So I'll show you some examples of houses that I've decorated. Here's one I prepared earlier. So you can see here, I'm just using basic square shapes for the doors and the windows, and using dots. I find the dots are really, really good because they kind of represent that snowiness, the glitteriness and snowballs and snowdrifts and that type of thing. And I've just used this little sort of like sun template here with a little heart at the top. Now, as you can see from my design, I decided that rather than just using the white, I would add a little bit of colour to it as well. And you can see there, I just used a basic felt tip marker. I think it was a Sharpie pen, but you could use any felt tip pens or even crayons or colour pencils if you want. And I just made the basic red square shape for the door, and then the 4 little yellow squares for the windows. And then I put the white marker pen over the top of these, and that turned out really effective. One thing you've got to make sure you do is let that paint dry, because don't forget, when you hang these, depending on whether you're putting them flat on a wall or hanging them on a tree, sometimes they turn when they're hanging, and you really do need to decorate both sides of the cardboard if you can. So that's an example of the front of the decoration. And I would put that to one side and let it dry, probably for 30 minutes, and then you can flip it round and you can continue to paint the other side of it. So let me show you some of the other decorations that I've managed to do. So this is a slightly larger house, which came out really well. I'm really happy with the heart shapes that I did here. And just as an experiment, I don't know if you can see it there, I put little bits of snowdrift around the window to create a really snowy scene. And I've left the others, I haven't done them, just so that you can kind of see the difference here. And I used dots. So I think just by doing this little bit of snowdrift around the window, it gives it that real snowy, wintry atmosphere. And it was great fun as well, just doing these semicircles all the way along the eaves of the roof. And again, I used dots because that kind of symbolises the snow and the frostiness of the scene. On the other side, I incorporated a little bit of black marker pen and green and yellow for the Christmas tree and the star. And I kind of made this look like doors had been flung open. And also up here, you can see I added a little clock. And up on the eaves here on this one, I just put a bit of a shadow effect. So I did the white pattern first and then just added this black shadow effect to make those eaves pop out a little bit. And I hope you can see there, I then added these icicles hanging down. See, they're hanging down underneath the clock there and all the way along the eaves. And again, I think that really helped to create a nice cold, frosty effect. You can kind of imagine that these are perhaps some chalets up in an alpine glen somewhere where there's snow-capped mountains and people are sat around their log fires sipping mulled wine and stuff. So that was one of my other designs, and I'll show you a few more now. Again, I like this with the townhouse, and I actually added shutters to this and a little bit of colour to put this wreath on the door. And again, you can see I didn't do it with this top window, but I did it with these, where I added the snowdrift slightly around the windows there using white dots. And I think you would agree it really helps to make those windows pop and make it really effective. And there on the other side, you can see again, I've used a bit of colour in the windows. I used warm shades like red and orange and yellow to make it look like there's warm firelight inside my little house. And you can see there again, I've added the icicles to the bottom of the windowsills for that nice frosty winter effect. This came out really good. I decided to actually colour the whole bit of cardboard in black. Okay, so you can see there, again, I've done both sides of it, and I used a slightly silver grey colour and then the white to highlight those grey bits. And again, you can see it's really helping that pattern to pop out. That looks really, really good, I think. I was very happy with that one. I did both sides there, and this one I actually decided to use, like, this is holly berries and holly leaves as a pattern up on the eaves of the house too. So I was very pleased with that. And I really like these ones where you're actually doing a clock face. And again, you can see I just used yellow to begin with, just a felt tip yellow. Then I did everywhere in this silver grey colour. And then I finally did the white numbers and the hands of the clock and the patterns all around the edge. And that reminds me really of like a cuckoo clock. So very European looking. And then on the other side, a little house with a door and frost up on the tiles of the roof there. This one came out really well as a clock too. For this I used the black for the clock face and up in the eaves of the house there. And again did the white on top of that, and that came out really effectively. And then I used like this dark tealy turquoise colour, and again using lots of dots to shape the patterns here. But I was really pleased with the effect of that. And again, another little Scandi house. In my box of crafting tricks, I found this little bee. So I put him up on the eaves of the house and then put these flower petals around the top as well. And you can see here I even added snowdrift to the bottom of the door with a letterbox, etc. So yeah, I was really pleased with the effect of these. I've kind of stuck to the Scandinavian or Alpine house look here, but don't forget you can use absolutely any shape that you want to, and I'll see if I can share with you now, if I can find it. Give me one moment. And hopefully I will be able to find for you. Here we go. I hope you can see this up on the screen here. I'm sharing with you now the Hobbycraft site, and you can see here pictures of all the different cardboard shapes. They've used houses as well and stars. And if you scroll down to this site, you can actually see there step by step all of the different stages of creating these cardboard designs, which is what I've just run through with you now. So you can see here with the star, you can do these flower and triangle shapes. I really like this leaf pattern design as well on the stars. I think that really pops and jumps out too. But there's lots of suggestions here for shapes and patterns. And like I say, just be brave and freestyle your own, and they should come out really, really well. So once you've done that, like I say, you do need just a simple bit of string. And I actually found this is like a cotton garden twine, which again, it's fairly environmentally friendly because it's cotton. It should eventually biodegrade. If you've not got any garden string, I even found these little pieces of wool, but they're really good for hanging your decorations. So as you can see, you just pop the string through the top of the decoration. And you can see I've tied it in a knot there at the top. And behind me here, I've got my Christmas tree. So let's pop them on there and see what they look like. Let's try one. Oh, finding a spot that's not by my birds. I might have to actually stick it over the bird's head for a minute until I can rearrange it. There we go. You can see them there. I think that looks really good. There. Yeah. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. You can really see how much those houses pop out. Now, I have seen other ideas for doing these cardboard decorations where people have put them on a long string and actually made bunting out of the decoration so that it can be hung around the sides of your room, and it looks really, really amazing. And other people that have got a bit more technical, and they've managed to make three-dimensional houses. They've then lined the windows, they've cut the windows out and lined the windows with tissue paper, and then they've used electric tea lights to illuminate the house so that the lights are shining out of the windows. Now, if you try this, whatever you do, do not try it with a naked flame and a real tea light, because it will end up in disaster. You do not want real flame anywhere near cardboard. But if you're using the little electric tea lights, you can pop them inside and behind stuff to throw this illuminated light out, and it looks really cosy. On a winter's day when you've got these little 3D lanterns flickering. Okay, so that really is all you need to know about making these Christmas decorations. But if you did need to speak to me about any of this, if you have any questions, you are welcome to contact Subu, and we will be able to help you if you've got any questions. So just to recap, the things that you needed were cardboard, scissors, white marker pen, string, and a shape template, or go for it freehand. There are 10 packs, craft packs, that you can come and get from the Student Centre on floor 2 as of Thursday this week. And just a quick run through of how you would make it. Use the template or freestyle it to draw your festive shapes on the cardboard. Cut the shapes out. Don't forget to make a hole for the string. Use the white marker pen and add patterns and shapes to the cutout. Allow that to dry for I'd say 30 minutes. Flip it over and don't forget to decorate the other side. Thread the string through the hole and tie a knot to get your loop, and your decoration is ready to hang. And Hobbycraft, like I say, if you go onto the ideas tab on the Hobbycraft page, they've got this and a whole load of other really fabulous Christmas crafting ideas that I would recommend. Okay, so there we go. That brings me to the end of this tutorial. Don't forget, with the Students' Union, we really do encourage people to be sustainable, practice sustainability, live more sustainable lives. So if you've got any questions about that, or you have ideas for sustainability campaigns that Subu could support you on for the future, feel free to email us. The details will be down below here, but it's Subu Sustainability at bournemouth.ac.uk, or pop into the Student Centre, come up to floor 2, speak to me or any of the staff in the Subu Opportunities team about any questions you have or ideas for sustainability. So I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial, and let me know how you get on. You're welcome to email, send us photographs of your successes and failures. It's always great to hear from you and know how you get on with these things. So it's been great to speak to you this afternoon. Take care, and don't forget to join us next Monday for our Crafternoons, when we will actually be making salt dough decorations using really simple, cheap ingredients: salt, flour and water, and again you can make some brilliant decorations for your Christmas tree or to hang up around the room. So take care, keep warm and cozy, and I'll see you again next week for more. Bye bye.